Hello, my beautiful and valuable friends, and welcome to this channel. I'm Tutevik, and in today's video, we are going to touch the subject about men and women and relationship, and most of all, what do men and women like in each other. I have created different videos, and they're different from each other because the elements that I discuss are completely different. And I have discussed what is that women like in men. I've created different videos and I describe that, we love confidence in men, we like successful men, we like positive men, and so on. And also, I think it will be very fair to create a video for women to describe what is that men love in us women. And a lot of women also requested it when they watched my previous videos. They said, okay, now, men know what we want, but tell us what is that men want. And actually a list of the men is a little bit larger so I will make few videos for that. Before we dive in, I just want to tell you that I have just launched a program both for women and men. It's a separate different courses that run. They are connected, some material is overlapping, but some material is completely different. So if you're interested in taking part to find out about yourself first, and then find out about opposite gender, and then find out about how relationship work, then definitely this is for you. And it's very new, it's very fresh. A lot of people are really liking it. I have a very good feedback about it, so I can see it's already working. So definitely don't miss that out. And also, if you're interested, you can click below and also find out more about this course. And if you ever need one-to-one consultation just for one time or 10 times or 20 times, doesn't matter, I'm here for you. You can also contact. And lastly, I just want to remind you that you can always buy my new book that has been just newly created for you, and it's very interesting. There's so much so much going on right now, and it is all for you. And this channel, the real reason I've created this, it's of course it's my pleasure to find out more. Knowledge is what I really adore in life, but the main reason is to help you. My main reason is to be here for you. So everything that I do, I'm making this for you, to make your life nicer, to make you feel happier every day, and to know that there is so much love I want to give. Why not? So let's dive in. Let's not, I'm so excited. There's so much to discuss, so let's definitely dive in. Number one, what men really wants and is longing for in a woman, things that men really want women to do or not to do, things that men really adore when women do. And number one is a woman who allows a man to be a man, not a boy, not a prisoner, not a student to her, but a man. And I will of course explain. Nowadays, a lot of men complain to me that their women are becoming more and more self-absorbed, or too controlling, or a little bit too obsessive, and that doesn't make them to feel attraction towards them. Men's psychology is a little complex than women's, but in the same time, it's simpler because they are way simpler than we women. Women are more complex emotionally. Men are more complex in the way they want things to be. Men are complex because they sometimes want things that women do not understand, and that is the only complexity. That's why I mentioned that they're very easygoing. Men usually are way more easygoing. Of course, you will always find men who are very hard to deal with, but in general, if you look at statistics, men are way more easygoing. So their things that they want are actually not that hard. But men are complex because they're asking for things that women do not comprehend. And therefore, this is made for you so you can understand what is that he's asking, and that it won't be any more complex for you. So a man loves a woman who allows him to be a man. Have you noticed very often when you are with a man, after some time you treat him like a boy? A lot of women say, oh yes, I have 3 kids. No, well, 4. My husband is 4th. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful because he's not a kid, He's He's not a child at all. So let's not say these things, because we code this in him. We make him helpless, we make him more vulnerable, we make him weaker, we make him depend on us. Let's not say these things. So don't make your man a boy. Don't treat your man as a boy. Men, even when they're in the first stages of the relationship, even if you're single and you're going on dates and you're a woman, they don't like when you're treating them like a student, like you're a teacher, you know everything, and they don't know anything. You need to correct them how they dress, you need to correct them what car they need to buy, you need to correct them what job they need to work, you need to correct them how they need to feed their cat or a dog or whatever animal they have, how they need to speak with their mother. They don't like to be students. They don't like. Men in general like to study themselves. They like to do their own mistakes. Women are opposite. We like to actually learn from others. And therefore, if you look very carefully, so many women are watching different videos where men won't watch these videos. If it's for them, yes, they will watch this video because it's about them. But they won't watch, so much about relationship, because it's just not for them. They're not really interested. They're more, driven for career, for their self-improvement and self-actualization. So that's why when you are treating a man like a boy or a student, you become his mother or a teacher. And no man is attracted to his teacher or to his mother. You need to realize this, that attraction can be instantly killed if you're becoming his mother, Have you had your pills if, he's sick with something? Or have you taken this to the dry cleaner? Have you taken, this out? Have you got the food I asked you? Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you ironed your shirt? When are you going to go to doctors? And so on. That is like a motherhood, instinct that is talking in a woman. That is fine. If you have children, you can do that, and of course don't suffocate them with your love and care, but you can do that with them. But for men, he doesn't like that. He loves to be independent. He loves to be a little bit, on his own. He likes to do things on his own. And you will say, but it's so hard. I want to help. I want to remind. But you don't have to. Allow him to miss that pill. Allow him to not take his medicine and then feel sick, and then he will never miss that again. I'm not saying in a punishment way, but allow him to take care of his life. Allow him to be a man. Allow him to not iron the shirt. Go with that shirt to the presentation. People to laugh at him, like, why are you wearing that shirt? Like, you have no iron? And then he will come and say, oh yeah, right, I will iron my shirt. Or he will ask you to iron, or maybe you have a person, who takes care of household, then that person can iron. And this is not to punish a man, but a man doesn't like to be taught. A man doesn't like to be suffocated in a motherhood love. He loves a woman as his inspiration, his muse, as a lover, but not like a mother and a teacher. Therefore, the number one, what men really love in women, and what kind of women they love to have around them, is a woman who allows them to be men. Not a boy, not a student, and not a prisoner, but a man, a real man. Number two, very, of course, connected, is they love women who admit that they need a man. Sounds very light, but actually it's quite a heavy one. And I tell you why. Majority of women nowadays, they don't need a man. Or they think they don't need a man. Or they say they don't need a man. But if you think about it, biologically we need a man, and physically we need a man, and emotionally we need a man, and spiritually, mentally we also need a man. We need a man in general. We have this longing for a man, for a masculine energy. And if you are a student, you're studying, maybe at that point you don't need a relationship, and that is fine. Maybe you're already retired, you have mature children, and maybe your husband died and you don't need a man at the moment, that's fine. Every age has its own difficulties and its own challenges, but in general, women do need a man. And men are incredibly, immensely attracted to these feminine women who say, I need a man. I need you as a man. There are three different sentences I will tell you that men love to hear. Number one, he loves to hear that I can't do without you. Just I can't without you. Of course, in a global scale, you can. Of course, you can survive. If tomorrow is a war and all men die, of course we can survive by ourselves. We will find where to find the food. We will shelter. We'll find the shelter. We will find what to do. Of course, we can. But when you say, I can't do without you, it makes him wanted. It makes him needed. It makes him to be admired. Second expression is when you say, I need you. I need you. I, not, somebody, not my relatives, not your work, but I need you. As a man, I need you. I need you to be with me. I need you to be next to me. I need you to be, around me. I need you. Physically, I need you, to see you. I need, your touch or your kiss or your cuddle. Or emotionally, I need your support. I need you to just sometimes even not talk, but just to listen to me. I know you're there. So this I need you is a very strong sentence. And of course, the last third is I want you. Men want to be wanted and needed, but this is not only physically that you want a man, but you want him as a person. You want that persona, his energy to be in your life. So these sentences that I can't be without you, that I need you and I want you in my life, these are very feminine, very soft, very settled. Those are sentences that, to be honest, every man wants to hear, and because then they feel so masculine. They feel, oh, finally I'm needed. Somebody finally needs me. And I have faced a few relationships where men came for consultation and they said that they feel not needed in the relationship. Their woman is earning the money, their woman is finding the way how to raise children, and they feel like they're furniture. They don't feel that they're there in the house. They feel like they're part of the scenery, and they feel not needed. And these men later admitted, after we did the consultations, they did different trainings with me, then they decided to leave this woman and they found a woman who really needs them. And you will be mesmerized. Those women were much younger, those women were way weaker, those women had less money or no money. And so you see, that really shows that men wants to be needed. He wants to be the rescuer. He wants to be the provider. He wants to help. And we are talking about traditional men. There are different men, and I completely agree that everybody has a choice to do what they want. But I'm talking about traditional relationships, that these men, they love to be needed and wanted. And lastly, this is something very beautiful. The third is men really love in women when women remain feminine no matter what happens. And a lot of men accept women when they become a little bit more aggressive or they become a little bit more masculine. They accept that, they are not really judging us that much as we judge them when they become weak. But men in general, I think they're way tolerant towards women, but yet they admit that they love women who remain feminine. And I'm going to give you different situations for you to understand exactly what I mean. If you're a woman, men love you to remain feminine in 3 different scenarios. If something bad happens, you don't need to become a man. You do not need to become a man, and you do not need to solve the problem. Stay feminine, stay calm, stay soft. You can be vulnerable, you can be weak in a nice way. So number 1, when bad situation happens, remain feminine. You don't need to solve the situation. Allow him to be a man. Allow him to solve the situation. Number 2, when he loses his money. This is very complicated. Women right away want to rescue. They become the mothers, the providers. They start working, taking the second job and saying, no problem, we will never lose our lifestyle. We will do this, we will do that. And they solve the problem and take over this financial commitment. There was a very interesting program I was watching, and the man, he's a married man for 25 years, has 3 children, and for 20 years, he's very mature, he's like 60, 65. He's teaching women that don't solve men's problems, don't follow, this path of being his friend as a man friend. Don't follow this path of becoming a man and rescuing the family from the financial disaster. And it's very refreshing when he said that when a man is losing his money, you lose everything with him, lose the apartment, maybe, lose the lifestyle, but allow him to stand up from this. And I will tell you, successful, confident, and intelligent men will never allow you to sink in that. If he loses his money, his job, everything, he'll find a way how to carry on providing. Maybe 2 months you will not have, everything you wanted. Maybe for 1 year you will struggle a little bit, but he will find a way. So allow him to be that. And the third scenario also, I want you to tell you that no matter what happens, never lose your ladylike behavior. Don't curse, don't argue, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do these addictive things, but remain feminine in the situations. So now we have a very big spectrum. I hope you feel way more, entertained and enlightened and also recharged with the energy and knowledge. And let's just recap. Men love women who allow them to be men, not boys, not prisoners, not students. Men love and adore and admire women who also admire them and accept and admit they need a man in their life. And third of all, men admire and really love women who remain feminine no matter what bad situation happens, no matter if they lose money, and they do not solve men's problem. They allow men to remain the man, the provider, and the person who will solve the problems. So now it's a very, big spectrum you have. And the only thing I want to tell you is to thank you for your attention, for watching, for being here with me. And also remind you, don't forget to smile today. And also, how can I not say this? I wish you to find somebody who loves you for who you are, who admires you, and allows you to be a man if you're a man, and allows you to be a real woman if you're a woman.